I used to be somebody who would tell everybody what I was up to. If I was creating something, if I was working on something, if I had a dream, I would tell literally every man and his dog that would listen to me about it. I over justified and over explained literally everything that I did. If somebody asked me a question, then I would give a rambling long answer to it, explaining like why I was behaving this way and why I was doing these actions, and just really going into elaborate detail as to why I was doing what I was doing. Now I see that that need to justify myself was a nervous system response, being so desperate for people to understand me because I was so afraid of people perceiving me the wrong way and judging me, when in reality, we have absolutely no fucking control over that. And one thing that showing up online and building a social media platform has taught me is that people are going to judge you. It doesn't matter what you do. It doesn't matter if you say the most perfectly articulated, nuanced, compassionate, where you are taking into consideration every single point of view and every single angle, you are still going to piss somebody off. You're still going to trigger somebody. And you have to learn to be okay with that, because it's going to happen whether you're building an online presence or in your personal life. The fact of the matter is, most people, maybe 99% of people around you, are probably not living the kind of life that you want to live. And you're wanting to forge your own path, right? You've got a vision that you want to create this beautiful life for yourself. And it's very outside the norm of what most people are doing. Maybe you want to live off grid in a forest in a little fucking hut with rivers and birds and live off the land. Maybe you want to be super, super successful and have like a multi-million-pound business, sharing your spiritual gifts with other people. Maybe you want to find a way to create content so you can do the bare minimum and just enjoy your life. Regardless, you have dreams and you have aspirations. And I'm here to tell you, the fewer people that you share that with, the better, okay? This is something that I've learned the hard way. Most people, the majority of people, are not going to be happy for you. They're not going to support you. They're not going to believe in you. Everyone says on TikTok, oh, be Delulu. Like it's all fun and cutesy. When you're surrounded by people who are genuinely saying, I don't think you can do this, and are like pulling this sort of face, you're only human. That shit's going to get to you. And you wanting to build this life for yourself is going to make people confront their own shit. It's going to trigger the fuck out of them, because most people aren't actually willing to put in the effort and do what they need to do to make their dreams come true. Most people tell themselves stories around reasons why they can't go after what they want, limiting beliefs, trauma that they've been through, circumstances in their current reality, dipping a toe in the pool for 1 second and it failing and then never doing it again and saying it didn't work. Maybe you'll set your sights on a vision, a dream, and it will come to you like that. Okay, I don't want to rule that out for you. Always keep that as a possibility. But personally, people that I admire, people that have built the lives that I aspire to have, they fell on their face 1,000 times before they hit quote unquote success. The people that you see on social media that look like everything's just happened overnight, find out their story. Find out how many people told them it wasn't possible. I heard a fact the other day that Claudia Pincola Estes, who wrote my favourite book, Women Who Run with the Wolves, she was rejected 41 times before she got signed. Now, I don't know if you've read that book, but it's a fucking masterpiece. It blows my mind that people would have rejected that. But it's a good reminder, not everyone is going to get your vision. And the majority of people, even if they love you, even if it's your parents or your close friends, they're probably still going to doubt that you can achieve what you want to achieve. They're not going to understand the path that you're on. And that's why it's so important to make moves in silence. You do not need to tell everybody what you're up to, because if you do that, you're probably looking for some sort of validation. It's going to be coming from this place in your body that feels constrictive and feels like, oh, I just want them to tell me it's going to be okay. Oh, I just want them to like me. And the chances are you're not going to get that back. Now, I only tell people things if I'm like 99% sure that they're going to be able to hold that and they're going to support me through it. And there's very, very few people in my life that can handle that. I make most of my moves in silence, and it's not in a hyper independent way. It's in a preserving my energy way. I know that when I can show them that I've achieved that goal and it's come into my reality, they're going to be so fucking happy for me and they're going to celebrate me. But until that point, they don't believe it's possible. So why would I share it with them? I don't need that negativity. I don't need that doubt. And it's the same for you. Whatever you are wanting to call into your life, treat it so preciously. Treat it like a newborn baby. I'm not a mother, but the second you give birth, you wouldn't go parading your baby around to every single person. See your creations and your aspirations as like the fetus in the womb. You want to nurture it. You want to bring it to life. You want to give it a safe space to grow, warm bubble of protection until it's ready to be fully birthed into the world. And like if you were pregnant, feeding your mind and your body and your spirit with everything, all the nutrients that baby needs to grow into a healthy baby. Good food, good thoughts, good routine, lots of self-care, the right kind of support. You can still celebrate your own wins. You can celebrate every milestone that you hit. You can journal. You can express it in some way. And if you do share it with somebody, make sure it's coming from a place of self-validation and no expectation of how that person is going to react, and expecting that person to cheer you on and to understand, because they might not. I can honestly say there's like one, maybe two people in my life right now that know like the majority of things that I'm working on. I'm a manifesting generator, so I always have like a shitload of projects on at the same time. Most of them I keep close to my heart because one, most of them, because one, a lot of them aren't going to come to fruition. Two, good things take time. And three, I really, really love that sacred container between me and what I'm creating. It feels tender, it feels raw. I don't want to share that with somebody if they're going to shit all over it. And that doesn't mean I don't love those people. It just means I know that they're not going to have the same vision as me, and they're not going to have the belief and the passion that I hold for it. And then when you do finally decide to birth it into the world, whatever it is, to share parts of yourself, you have to know that whether it is in real life, online, you're sharing music, you're sharing writing, you're sharing a business, whatever it is, you are going to get haters. Right? And our brain loves to cling onto the haters. I had a really great example of this when I started blowing up on TikTok like 6 months ago. I had a few posts hit like a few million, and I had hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of positive comments. And then I had like 10 negative comments. And my brain wanted to latch onto those 10 negative comments and say, this is what people think of you, nobody likes you, your content is shit, when that wasn't the reality. I might get this stat wrong, but I remember when I was doing my hypnotherapy training, my teacher said the ratio is like 4-1 in your brain, negative to positive. You have to work 4 times as hard to get your brain to see the positive than the negative, because we're so hardwired for survival all the time. And you can do everything to avoid getting this hate. I remember at one point the online hate got quite loud, and so I started to water down my posts, and I started to like try and be really nuanced about absolutely everything. And my content flopped because it was shit, because it wasn't me. I was essentially people pleasing because I backtracked and I was like, I don't want all this hate. You have to learn to ride the waves. You have to learn to be so strong in your own message and what you believe in that they are just background noise. It's good to reflect. It's good to ponder like, could I have worded that a bit differently? Could I have done that a bit differently? Of course. But you can't avoid the haters. They're going to exist. But you have to remember the people that are tearing you down are people that are very fucking unhappy with their own lives. There's no way I'm going to tear a stranger apart on the internet. There is no way that I'm going to shit on somebody who's putting themselves out there. I live in an area where there's a lot of buskers on the streets, and like some of them, I'll be honest, don't sound that great, but I always cheer them and I always smile at them and clap them because they are putting themselves out there, which most people aren't doing. So ask yourself if the people that are hating on you are really the type of people that are living the life that you want to live. Do they have the same values? Highly not. If they're just being rude to somebody for pursuing their goals, drown out the noise as much as possible. When I first started social media, I was on social media 24/7. Now I'm on it for like an hour a day. I have a blocker on my phone permanently, and I unblock it twice a day to post. It's not my business to read every single comment. It's not my business to make everybody like me. It's not my business to make a message that suits everybody, what all 8.2 billion people in the world. Impossible. Move in silence. When you feel intuitively that it's ready to put that thing out into the world, the right people will find you. Hold on to them. Nurture that community. Anytime you get good feedback, save it in a folder in your phone to look at and ignore the haters. This is the only way to get to where you want to be. If you're allowing all of that negative shit to get to you, you're going to block yourself so hard and you're going to backtrack. The only thing that you need to care about is you, your health, your purpose, staying away from the drama, keeping your head down, minding your business. The rest falls into place.